It's time! It's time! It's JFW time!
Guys, thanks for being around. Thanks for joining in on the live stream we are doing here for Rocket Pro Wrestling. Fall Brawl's coming up this Saturday, and we're taking an opportunity now to sit down with those of Rocket Pro Wrestling, wrestlers, executives, behind the scenes, whoever from Rocket Pro wants to come on and talk. We are here to do that for the next couple hours. Of course, I'm not here alone. I'm also here with the amazing Turtle.
That'd be me, Cowabunga.
Chicagoland champion. And PX, or Pacman, as I know him as, not only a co-host of JFW, but also co-host of the Power Hour and leader of the fan group That's Kid and Men.
You got that right. And potential future Nova Award.
But no, don't add. Dude, I just did it. Don't add shit. I did it this way so you don't have to add shit.
Well, it's something we got to talk about.
No,
it's Rocket Pros.
Not in the intro. Not in the intro. No. Don't turn this into our thing. This isn't about us. This isn't about you. This is about Rocket Pro Wrestling.
I mean, the LIM are, Rocket Pro Wrestling. So
shut up.
And Nubby is an LIM, so.
See, it all works out, Travis.
So it is. It all goes full circle. Awesome.
Exactly.
For anyone who's listened to any live streams JFW has done in the past, you know that I kind of take the lead, take the helm, and kind of run through this. And obviously, with the help of my co-host and everything, we get through the show pretty smoothly. Being this is a Rocket Pro live stream, and we're talking purely Rocket Pro Wrestling here for those who are listening. Turtle and Pacman are going to kind of lead the show and everything, and I'll kind of be here as like a supporting cast because they know more about Rocket Pro than I do. They know people in Rocket Pro and all this stuff way better than I do. They've been more familiar with them a lot longer than I have. So I'm not going to take up too much time. Whatever. I just lost my train of thought. And that's why I'm not doing this. So Turtle, Pacman, I'm going to give you guys the floor. And I'll be here, to kind of throw shit in there from time to time. But if you guys want, go ahead and take the reins, and let's get started with this.
Perfect. So I think we'll run down the card as people call in if they choose to. I know one person definitely will call in or wants to call in. So Rion Skillz, at any time you want to call in, please feel free to do so. Yeah. And maybe we'll talk about your match first. So we'll give him time.
Yeah. Don't sit there in silence. Let's. Come on, kid. You know.
But
wow, pal.
Well. So while we wait for Rion, those Nova Awards are coming up as well at Fan Access, which starts at 2 p.m. this Saturday to 4 p.m. Pacman, let's talk about those Nova Awards a little bit. What are the categories? Who is in it? Who are the nominees of each category?
We have Wrestler of the Year, which you are nominated for, as well as Christian Rose, Gunner Brave. Just some of the nominees that are coming to my head right now. We have Tag Team of the Year, TDC, The Idols. Again, a couple names coming to my head right now. We have Funniest Moment of the Year, the Bricks Burn a Water Bottle. Our moderator, Smiley McGee, got nominated for being turned into a coat rack. We also have Darth Vader and Michael Myers nominated for the Funniest Moment of the Year as well. There is also Match of the Year, Gunner Brave versus Storm Grayson. and Quinn Whittick versus Joey Jet Avalon are two of the top nominees in that category. In addition, there's Rowdy's fan group of White Girl Wasted and the Rocket Boys, who have been nominated for that award.
Nice, nice. I believe the Aaron Stone section as well.
Oh yes, Stone, the Aaron Stones have also been nominated. I mean, they're led by Lord Farquaad. How can you not vote for them?
Well, they should be voting for LIM, but hey, that's just me being biased.
I'm trying to hide my biasness.
You can't do that here. That's impossible.
I know. Trying to be modest. But yeah, those awards will be starting when fan access starts at 2 p.m. and that'll be in the park. And remember, that is $5 to get into fan access. And Nubby, you were at the last fan access that they had back in May before Kicks on 66. So, what was that experience like? What can fans expect from fan access?
Well, so being it was my first official fan access. You go out to intermission and you meet the crowd, sign autographs and whatnot. But fan access was really different. I've never been part of something like that before, and the crowd was a little lack at the time, but still just enough to a random kid can come up to you and just talk for a while, ask you for an autograph, buy your merch, which, by the way, I do have merch. So come and see me at Fan Access for some merch.
Cheap plug, Nubby.
Hey, I'm cheap. What can I say?
Why the hell does that have to be Pacman, who has to be the modest one? You're out here trying to upsell your merch.
Well, I am the talent on the roster, so why wouldn't I?
He's got you there, Travis.
Oh, God. He's talking about Rocket Pro, you idiot. Oh, my God.
Well, it is connected to Rocket Pro because Fan Access is part of Rocket Pro Wrestling Fall Brawl.
It is.
God damn it. I do think Fan Access is a good concept. And the last one was great. You had the Power Hour who did a live show. You guys inducted some people.
Chuck Gunderson.
Yeah. His and his cute daughter.
Chelsea.
Good old Chelsea Gunderson.
Yeah, that's her name.
You're not good with names, we know.
No, I'm not. just inappropriate descriptive words of them. But yeah, no.
Can't confirm.
Yeah, but no, it's pretty cool because who did they have? They had that water balloon.
Throwing water balloons at No Coast.
With No Coast.
Or mostly at Santino, but that's just...
Idols were out there and everything. It was a pretty cool time. It's awesome they're doing it this time. I kind of wish it was a little bit longer though. I think if you got 3 or 4 hours out of it, it'd be a lot cool. But I think 2 hours is great, and it gives everyone an opportunity to not only get there early enough, but to be more involved in the Rocket Pro Wrestling before the season premiere starts. Rion says he's going to start. He's going to call in about 10 minutes or so, so that's pretty awesome. Thanks for letting us know that. For those who are in here and everything, like I said, if you want to call in, just go ahead and call in whenever you want. We'll just take people as they do call in. Also, take this opportunity to make sure you like and share the live stream as we go through, because those likes do help us out here at JFW, and it kind of puts us higher up in like a recommendation order and stuff like that on live stream. So make sure you do keep clicking the likes and everything. That does help us out here. But yeah, until we get calls in and everything, we can start on the card. We can kind of deep dive into the matches and how we got to this point and everything. So if you guys just want to get started on that.
Yeah, we can do
that.
I
have the match card in front of me. Turtle, how about we start with your match?
I was hoping to be main event because it's what I do. But no, we'll start. We'll start with me. Get me out of the way, because I don't think my opponents are going to call in anyway. I don't think Bucky Collins knows how to use a phone, and
Treated.
Ryan Matthews is kind of weird. So also
but
treated.
we had double treated 2X combo. On your 142nd day as Rocket Pro Wrestling Chicagoland champion, we're going to be talking about your Chicagoland Championship defense versus Ryan Matthews, the Ryan Matthews, and Bucky Collins.
It's gonna be a weird match.
Now, talking about both of these guys, the Ryan Matthews was just in a title match at Rocket Pro, filling in for Quinn Whittick to go after Aaron Stone for the vacant Rocket Pro Wrestling Championship at Kicks on 66. Bucky Collins managed to, through some very sadistic ways, seemingly started to tear apart TDC when after his match with Christian Rose at the last show, Christian Rose started going after going after Bucky when the TDC came out to try to stop him, but wound up shoving Connor Hopkins out of the way. So, maybe Bucky's kind of going to come into this match a little emboldened in that, I would say. Matthews perhaps having the undeniable in his back pocket, especially now that we have, I think we refer to him as J-Beck the bounce check in his corner.
Yeah.
What's your mood going into this match? I know you said it's challenging, but what's your mood going into this match?
Well, there's a lot of factors in this match that are really going to be against me because the Ryan Matthews, as you said, is part of Undeniable, and he'll be accompanied by the bounce check guy, most likely. But I'm not too worried about him because, honestly, what can he do to do anything? He's not. I don't think he's smart enough to get involved. And if he tries to, he's just going to get knocked out anyway, or shell shocked, if you will. And I'm not afraid to do that to him. I mean, he decided to join Undeniable, which if you do that and you get in my way, you're gonna get knocked down. I'm more worried about the rest of Undeniable getting involved, especially Damian Saint, because he does get involved a lot. We've seen it before where he tried to trip up someone in a match. He'll deny it all he wants. He'll say he's just trying to put his hands in the ring, whatever excuse they'll come up with. But he's the type of guy that says no excuses, but he's got more excuses than anybody. As for B, he's dangerous. I mean, he held his own against Christian Rose for sure. I'm pretty sure he's gonna be too worried about him. I don't know if Christian Rose is done with him or not, but I hope Bucky just doesn't worry about him. Give me, all 100% attention. Because if not, the one little slip up, it's one shell shock away.
Now, you have been a fighting champion. Even with the Rocket Pro off season, you have defended the title on a couple different occasions at Ileana Pro Wrestling out in Richmond Park. So, and you and Rion Skillz, who we'll have in here very, very soon. So, how does maybe the lessons that you've taken from your title defenses IPW, how is that going to come into play during your match?
Well, if you think about it, I've been in multi-person matches since day one of Rocket Pro. If we go back to my debut in the ring at Kicks on 66 2 seasons ago, I was in a fatal four-way. Almost won, but the idiot Joey Roth, did his thing. And then I was in another triple threat with Rock and Rivera and Kevin Cade. I was in that scramble when I won the title. And then if we go to IPW, I was in that gauntlet. And it's no different than triple threats and four ways. Yeah, it was just one-on-one each time. But still, that's one match after another, and that will take a toll on me. Especially when Hot Rod Daddy Andy was the one that almost beat me. It went the time limit draw, but I survived.
That's right. That was the gauntlet match.
Yes.
So
And
you picked. Go ahead.
if we go to a triple threat match with Steve and Rion, we don't need to go into all of the details on that, but you saw how hard we were hitting each other between the three of us. I mean, a lot of bad blood from the past, just in my mind, and then the current stuff. So there was a lot of tension there. But again, I survived that. Granted, no winner because who interfered, but we don't need to mention them. So I think with this triple threat match, I think I'm qualified to win. Pretty much, I have all the tools to win this match.
Now, before we go on to the next match, if there's anything you want to say to the Ryan Matthews and Bucky Collins, if there's anything you wanted to say to them as you're preparing, as they and you are preparing for this match, what do you want them to know?
Don't take me lightly, and focus. Just don't take. You know what? That's all I need to tell them. Don't take me lightly, because I'm not Amazing Turtle for no reason. Even my dog agrees. If you can
I
hear
agree with your dog. So, following your match, we're going to have Koa Laxamana versus Eric Schultz. Koa has taken St. Park by storm in the past year. One of the breakout star nominees of the year at Rocket Pro, and he is going up against Eric Schultz. Now,
Hey guys, hey, real quick. I think something's messing up on the live stream.
Oh.
I'm not sure unless it's only on my end or not. Can you do me a favor? Try to type something into the chat and see if it goes through.
Oh, I don't have anything on my chat right now.
Yeah, I think something screwed up with the.
Not a lot. No, I see it.
Steve messaged. Kevin Palmer just sent something.
Oh yeah.
Oh, it's not letting me type though.
It's not letting me type either.
Yeah. The last thing I'm showing is Gia Monster plug-in Carter comics.
Steve, Kevin Palmer just posted. Boom. But yeah, it took away my option to input a message.
Okay. All right.
The chat is working according to Rion. So
chat's working on your end. Okay. Yeah. For some reason, it's not working on mine, so I have no idea what's being said. But okay, cool. Like I said, I thought it was the whole thing, but if it's only on my end, then we can just keep rolling. I didn't mean to interrupt you and shit. I just was freaking out that maybe it wasn't working, but if everyone on your end says it is, then we continue.
All right. So back to what we were saying about Koa Laxamana and Eric Schultz. So here's the biggest question going into this match. Can the Red Wave Army outlast the Undeniable? Nubby, what do you think?
Well, I gotta stop saying well, please.
Well?
Habits are hard to break. Koa has established himself, and I think he can through it. And Undeniable can't really defeat the Red Wave Army anyway, so I think Koa will handle this in the best way Koa can. And he's got Khalees in his corner, so I wouldn't mess with her.
No, I would definitely not mess with her. And I think really the biggest thing is we've seen Koa this summer in the NWA. He's had some experience, with that newfound experiences. We watched the last time he was at Rocket Pro. He bent Quinn Whittick's pro bar in half effortlessly.
That was shocking.
It was insane to see that. And that's the biggest question for the Undeniable is they see how strong and how tough Koa is, and they're putting up against Damian Saint's attorney, Eric Schultz. Is he going to find ways to bend Eric Schultz like he's a crowbar?
Don't count Eric Schultz out. He is slimy as any lawyer can be. I've witnessed firsthand multiple times. But he's also an idiot. And one slip up, he will be bent in half, maybe more than halfway. It'll probably be 4 different times he can be bent by Koa.
It will be very, very interesting match to watch and follow and see how that one is going to go down. But we also have the final level versus TDC for the Rocket
Pacman.
Pro Wrestling
Pacman.
Tag Team Championship.
Pacman.
Yes.
Pacman. There's a piece of advice I've given you twice now since you've been in JFW. And what was that?
Slow down.
Right? We are 30 minutes into a 2-hour live stream, and you are already on your third match.
That we are.
Slow the fuck down, bro.
I got you. I got you.
The thing is, there are people in chat, and again, I said I cannot see them, but there are people in chat, I'm sure, saying things that you could share with everybody and respond to.
In fact, Kevin actually brought up a good point. Don't forget about the monster Steve Michaels. Saint has him in his back pocket. So let's not forget, Steve Michaels just recently joined Undeniable, so he could be lurking around.
Yeah. See, the thing, and Pacman, I get that you're a Red Wave Army guy, you're a fan favorite guy, but there is a strength in numbers belief. And Undeniable isn't one person. Koa is. And the only person that Koa has in his corner is his manager, Kayleese. Is that right?
Yeah. That's right. Yeah.
Yeah. And if you watch any match that Koa's had anywhere, you see that she does more harm than good in his matches. I think there's like 3 or 4 off the top of my head where her involvement in the match actually cost him the win.
True.
So, I mean, I get that, Koa is a beast of a dude. He is a powerhouse in his own right. I understand that. But there's a lot of factors that favor the Undeniable and his opponent Schultz than they favor him. So you got. I mean, you say you want to be impartial, and you want to be, you don't want to, be a side picker and shit. But you got to look at the world as a whole. Koa is one man, and the Undeniable is a group.
That is true.
That is very true.
I know it's true because I said it.
You never tell a lie, Travis. You
That's
never
right.
tell a lie.
Right. See, wouldn't it be easy? The thing is, I wouldn't have to interrupt you if you would have asked me my opinion. And so you just ask Turtle and move along.
Yeah, we can include Travis.
Just because I'm not leading this thing doesn't mean I'm not here.
Got it.
I got things to say. I can say shit about people.
You sure can. You said a lot of shit about Okay.
Yeah.
So, Gila, thank you for sharing JFW social media and our sponsor, Carter Comics. Rated or Raw, Carter Comics has it all. Use promo code 10%.
Discount code?
Discount code 10%. Freaknet for 10% off. I'm working on it. Purchase.
Promo codes are like the Undeniable. Very irrelevant.
Treated.
Jesus Christ.
Treated.
What am I barking up the wrong tree with that comment or what?
I mean, you're just not being impartial.
I'm allowed to be. I'm being myself right now.
Right. Yeah, that's true. That's fine. Yeah. Final level. Go for it.
All right. We have the final level versus TDC. Now, guys, you've seen the video that was put out by TDC of after Kicks on 66. where Damian DeShane and Damian DeShane met with Marche Rocket and Shogun Chris Logan. There seems to be a lot of respect between Brooks Berna and Damian DeShane. Now, at the same time, and we'll talk a little bit about Connor Hopkins later, they did tell Connor Hopkins to be leery of Christian Rose. How do you guys think the conclusion of that strap match with Bucky Collin is going to come into play with the TDC matches on this show?
Well, honestly, what is Christian Rose, or what? All right, I don't know. I'll collect my thoughts here. Why would Christian Rose? He is still Bucky. Why would he get involved negatively against his own group? Yeah, we saw them have problems, but I don't think he will do anything to get involved in at all, negative or positive. He might just leave them high and dry at that point.
I wouldn't look at it as high and dry, but I think he'd look at it as like, they could handle their own shit. I think it's more of a obviously, yeah, there's some going on with Christian. I mean, that's obvious from everything we saw from the season finale up until now. But at the same time, there was a respect given from the Coyotes to the final level, which I think people need to acknowledge and appreciate, because I don't think respect is really given that much in this business anymore. But I don't agree with Steve when he says that the final level is the greatest tag team ever. I can kind of see chats now and in my own little way now, just because I think they've teamed for like 2 matches. So, I mean,
I get that, but at the same time, you got 2 of the greatest in the singles competitors coming together as one, and that might be, that gives them the upper hand.
And we saw them go through the gauntlet at Kicks on 66. They went up against some pretty tough teams. And even though they were worn down by the end, they were starting to, they did outlast Youth Gone Wild, which is not a very easy team to beat.
Well, none of those teams were easy teams. I mean, they had challenges throughout the whole thing, and I admire the fact that they got through it. It is impressive. And they're both big dudes. They're both main event guys. I got no doubt for the long term, sure, that, they'll be able to handle their own and get through whatever. But to go unbeatable is a bold statement, because we've seen main event guys together and form teams, and eventually something happens, whether it be an ego issue or, somebody wanting to get that final say in their, match and stuff like that, and it goes wrong. I think for the time being, yeah, I think the final level is an incredible tag team, but I mean, as big as those dudes are, their egos are just as big, and it's going to implode down the line. It's inevitable. It always happens.
You're not wrong about that part when it comes to egos, because as we saw at Kicks on 66 for that RPW versus the Idols, they were on the same team and they weren't working together then, but things have changed since then. Maybe they finally realized they can work together. But to say that they're unbeatable, you can look at them and say, yes, they're unbeatable, but everybody is beatable.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Steve says he has many opinions as to why the final level are forever.
Of course he does. It's Steve.
Steve, why don't you call in and tell?
Absolutely unbeatable. He wants me to quote him.
Yeah, I'm sure he does. Listen, I'm not taking anything away from the final level. I won't do that, because I will admit that they're a great tag team. And main event people who come together to form tag teams are great to start out with. We've seen it on TV a lot. Hell, we see it right now with Cole and MJF. And So shit like that does work. But it's not going to be forever. It's not going to go 20 matches being, unbeatable, And I get that Steve's a fan of both guys, and I get that's why he wants anything. But the Coyotes are a tag team with longevity. They've been able to work together, and they are tag team champions of that. And that shouldn't be counted out when going into Fall Brawl, saying like, oh, Marche and Shogun they're going to go unbeaten. They're going to become tag team champions. Well, why? Because they're unbeatable. Sure. But why? Well, because it's Shogun and Marche. But what the fuck does that mean? Like, what does that mean to say that because they're unbeatable, because they're great? Like, but what about them makes them unbeatable and great? Their power, their work ethic. Why are they better than the damn Coyotes?
I mean, TDC has been doing the tag teaming a little longer, and they've shown dominance in other places. But at the same time, the final level has a lot of experience between them.
3 certainties: life, death, taxes, and final level. Well, first off, that's 4, but cool. Fucking guy. But there you go, Steve. I'm not a RPW wrestler, so I'm not qualified here to speak as stated at the beginning. See that shit? I say no thing, and he pity parties over it.
You're allowing anybody who wants to have anything to say to come in and speak with us. Now, Kevin Palmer wants us to consider this. See if Shogun and Marche are able to coexist. Mm-hmm. And it is true that Marche has turned on Shogun once already. So are they going to be able to coexist when it comes to defeating the tag team champions, TDC?
I don't think it will. I think the Coyotes are going to keep their titles. As I said, Marche, Shogun, both great dudes, champions in other companies, well known. I understand that. Great competitors in the ring. But I think Coyotes have more of a history with, working together than the history that Marche and Shogun have, against each other or whatever falls. I don't know their history like Steve and all them does. So I'm not sure, what to do about that. But I think when it comes to the damn Coyotes, the ability for them to work together is gonna supersede the power and work ethic of, the final level.
Nubby, your thoughts?
Basically, we just gotta just watch and see what happens. We could talk all day, not Marche.
All day.
About what happened in the past to what we can see in the future. Well, let's look to now. They are in a tag team title match, and they might have dissension, but we don't know anymore. We need to just sit and watch and see how the pressure of going for the tag titles will come to play. And then don't forget TDC. I'm sure Christian Rose will be on their mind, so that'll come into play. But if they're smart champions, they cannot worry about Christian Rose. They have to focus on the final level, otherwise they're going to be in trouble, and it'll be an easy payday. Final level.
Rion, whenever he gets back in here, he was trying to call in, so he can call in and we can talk about his match. So we'll skip over that one and we can talk about whatever. Again, I want to try to leave this to you guys to run and everything, but I guess it's just not my nature. I guess that's the Steve in me. I don't know. But
I told him to be on the lookout. I just shared it. So
I just sent Rion the link.
Okay. Cool. Awesome. Okay, let's talk about the next match, though. Hey, no, let's give it a minute. We'll give it a minute. Let's wait for more people to come in, get them back in here and everything. Let me plug some things. Guys, if you noticed, Giggles is in the chat helping us moderate this, and I do appreciate it. He's out there helping us share our links, our sponsor, everything about JFW. So, Giggles, I appreciate it. Even though you're doing it, I'm not going to respect you and call you by your real name. It's just who I am. Deal with it. Move on. I mean, it is what it is, right? But one of the biggest reasons we're able to do things like this and we're able to keep moving and everything is because of our amazing sponsor. And I just want to give a shout out to CarterComics.com. It's your one-stop shop for all your comic needs. So if you guys out there are fans of comics or comic books, whether they be graded or raw, whatever it is, if you're just a fan of hanging, comics up on the wall to admire, or you like to thumb through them from time to time, either way, CarterComics.com, will give you the opportunity to have those things. Graded comics, raw comics, wherever you're looking for, they got it. All you got to do is go to CarterComics.com, check out their amazing shop with all their comic books in it. Thumb through it all, find what you like, throw it in the cart. On checkout, use the discount code FREAKNET, FREAKNET. You'll save 10% on your entire purchase, not just at their website, but on their eBay accounts, and they do have 4 of them. You can use discount code there as well, whether you be bidding or buying outright. The discount code will be working on eBay as well. If you happen to look through and you can't find one you're looking for, happy Labor Day, Gabagool. And you can't find one you're looking for, don't worry about it. Message them, contact them on their website. They have thousands upon thousands of titles that have yet to hit their store that they're still working on getting up there. Reach out to them, ask them if they have it. And if they do, they'll give you a deal on it. Just tell them Travesty sent you. Tell them This Freaking Show sent you. Just Freaking Wrestling sent you. Freaknet Studios. Say any of those things, and they'll hook you up with a good deal on their product. So, again, thank you to CarterComics.com for giving us the opportunity to do what we do here and do what we love to do. So we couldn't have done it without you.
So during that plug, I felt attacked, and I don't know why.
Oh, because you don't know how to spell freak. That's why. That's where you should feel attacked, because you've been on this show for a year and you still can't spell it.
I've been on Earth for 38 years. You think I know how to spell it anyway?
You hear me say it on a daily basis. In fact, I've spelt that word every week for a year.
I mean...
Well,
I hope Bucky Collins kicks your ass.
Well, here's the thing. Even if Bucky Collins does kick his ass, Gabagool has a point. Turtles can live up to 250 years, so technically Turtle is just a kid at this point.
I act like a kid sometimes, so...
Yeah, I'm not getting it. Tell you what, come on This Freaking Show next week and we'll have a conversation about turtles and when they really do turn old. We'll do that. Because I'll tell you right now, when the oldest man in the world is 120 years old, at 60, he's still old. Travis is the man. I appreciate that. Thank you, sir. I see Rion did make it back into the live. Awesome. I love that everyone is back and we're getting some new people in here as well. So I do appreciate that. Rion, if you are ready and you do want to call in, please feel free to do so now, or let us know and we'll get you on and we can talk about your match, because his match has a lot of a lot of history behind it. Until he's ready to come in, why don't you guys kind of recap us on what happened before this upcoming Saturday?
We shall.
Yeah, either one of you. Someone step up and say some shit. I don't like dead air. Don't do dead air to me.
We shall.
That we shall.
I get it. I got the pun the first time. Instead of filling the dead air with your stupid ass pun, how about you recap what happened the last show with Rion and Maximus, or what happened before that? I don't give a fuck about your pun at this point, Turtle. It was funny. Let's move the fuck on and talk about this before Rion's ready to come in and we don't get to talk about the recap. This is what I hate about doing with my life, is having to yell at you people for your idiocy. And this is why people think I'm the bad guy. Like, oh, why is Travis yelling at him like a drunken father at dinner? I don't want to, but when you guys are sitting there picking at each other while I'm trying to move forward, This is what we get.
So, Wrestling Fan One just said this show is kind of boring.
Who gives a fuck what they
and
think?
Tony Gabagool is having flashbacks to our dad Flash Harris yelling at us at dinner.
Here's what I can tell you about Wrestling Fan One, and I'll be completely honest with you, brother. Fucking leave. If you don't like what you listen to, then leave. But stay and troll out like I know you're going to, which is fine. If me yelling at these two people is boring to you, you're not going to like anything we do.
Gabagool is more of a Wrestling Fan 2 kind of guy.
Oh, because 2 is better than 1.
So we had Kicks on 66 that happened back in May. And a lot happened on that show. Aaron Stone became the new Rocket Pro Wrestling champion.
Hold on a second. Wrestling Fan One says we need to talk about the show that's coming up, which I think is a brilliant fucking idea.
Where was he an hour ago?
Why did we not think about talking about the upcoming show on this live stream?
I don't know. What a concept! Holy crap! You know what? Thanks, Wrestling Fan One.
This is mind-boggling.
My mind is blown. Here I am thinking JFW presents Rocket Pro Wrestling Fall Brawl Audio Live, but we did not think about talking about Fall Brawl. Holy hell. Thank you, Wrestling Fan One. Stop yelling at each other, making it all about you three. You're absolutely right. How dare I make this show about me? That's me slapping my own wrist. Who is Wrestling Fan One?
I'll tell you who he is. He's somebody that is a troll on the internet. He will not say this to our faces. He's just someone who probably lives in his mother's basement, watches old TV shows, and eating Cheetos all day. So, dude, just don't try and get yourself over right here. And by the way, forget this guy. We got Rion Skillz on the line right now.
Real quick, my favorite part is like, dude, he's like, you need to stop making the show about you and everything. And right after that, Giggles promotes the fucking social media about us.
Great placement.
Holy hell. Awesome. Good job, Giggle Monster. Rion Skillz, thank you for calling in, man.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you 100%. If you can speak a little bit louder, I appreciate it, but I can hear you, yes.
Yeah, my apologies. I am out and about, and I listened to the first live stream, and you guys were dealing with a debacle over there. As far as Wrestling Fan One, maybe he's just a fan who loves wrestling a lot, or he has a fan with wrestling involved in it, like an actual ovulating fan, to where it just says wrestling, it spells out wrestling. Or maybe he's just a guy or a girl or either or neither that just enjoys doing trolling aspects of wrestling accordingly. I understand what he's trying to say, but I also know that in order for you to stop talking about yourselves, you kind of have to put yourself in a position to not talk about yourself. And when you have someone like Wrestling Fan One mentioning the idea of you talking about yourself, subconsciously you're going to do just that. You're going to do the thing that you're not supposed to do. So I get it, but I guess I will do my best accordingly because I am currently waiting to be seated at breakfast. So
you're going to breakfast without me?
Yeah. I mean, we could talk about that.
I feel the abandonment. That's great. No, I don't want to make this about me again. No, see,
we can talk about it if you want. We can do that if you want to.
Here's the problem, Rion.
Wrestling Fan One, that's not a good idea to do.
Here's the problem, Rion. This is who I am. I make things about me. It's just in my nature, but I don't want to do that because I do want to talk about your I guess in a sense it's a rematch from the season finale coming up here in Fall Brawl. That's what I want to talk about. So Pacman, Turtle, you guys take it away. Let's talk to Rion about his upcoming match with Maximus Orion.
As a side note, I'm going to try to do my best to help you guys out accordingly with other matches. Simply because if Wrestling Fan Run is the only one that is going to be on here, then at the very least, let's make it as easy as possible for them to understand what's happening with Fall Brawl happening this weekend. Like it's one of those things that you got to kind of drill in the idea of. Please go ahead with your questions or statements, or I guess cheap shots, however you want to handle it.
Cheap shots. Who does that? Who does cheap
I do.
shots?
I do.
Well, keep in mind I heard the first live stream, so however you want to play it, I'm okay with it. Isn't that how I do it, Travis? Let me tell you something, sir. Let me handle it
Mhm.
a little bit.
All
I'm
right.
gonna talk to you.
Be
You
honest
all
with me.
handle it.
Be,
Isn't that how I do the thing?
be honest with me, Rion. How was my impersonation of you? It was kind of good, right?
Oh, it's very good. But I
Right.
also know that's a character that I have to play to make it as simple as possible for people like yourself. So I can go
Oh,
ahead
100%.
and move.
I need
go
I
ahead.
need
Go ahead.
simplicity, brother. I need 100% simplicity.
Oh, no.
You know
Oh,
me.
not it. I mean, considering what I saw in the live stream where they forgot how to talk about the show. God damn it.
That's right.
That's a whole nother thing. Let's go ahead. What you got? What you got?
Real quick, wrestling fan once says he can't hear you. If is there a possibility you can speak up just a little bit, or are you just kind of in an area where you can't really do that?
Oh no, I'm going to try my best. I'm going to actually take myself off this speaker, and hopefully we can go from there. So give me 1 second. I
Gotcha.
want to make sure that wrestling fan one hears me. I don't want any confusion of anything.
Mhm. Well, see, and that's the biggest thing too is like the
All right,
confusion.
I'll do
To me, you sound great. It's the listeners that I'm not sure how they're feeling about. To me, I could hear you.
I can hear you
Um,
too.
but I'm glad you mentioned the confusion and everything because I think this whole issue with you and Maximus all began because of mass confusion from everybody on what actually happened. And you were able to come on JFW and clarify it for us, and you were able to clarify it a couple of times over on the Power Hour. But the word confusion does kind of like resonate with the issues you have with Maximus Orion. Maybe not so much now. I think it's kind of clear to everyone what has happened, why it's happening. But at the very beginning, obviously, I think there was a lot of confusion. I think people thought jealousy or whatever it was, and that just wasn't the case. But anyways, Pacman, Turtle, you guys go ahead. Let's talk to Rion about his match and everything.
Oh, you mean
So
run through the card?
I just want you to talk about the match.
Okay.
Don't make this
So,
about. Do not make this about us.
I'm sorry. My bad. It's what
Yes,
I do.
it's what
All
we
right,
all do.
Pac-Man.
It
Pac-Man,
happened.
take it away.
all right. So Rion, you will be defending the Intercounty Championship against Maximus Orion. This will be a rematch from your match with him at Kicks on 66, where you had defeated him for that title in a last man standing match. Now, I recall before that match, you had said that, attacking Maximus after Rion Skillz Appreciation Night at Cupid's Carnage, you were trying to show Maximus something. Everything that you were doing had a purpose, and that you were trying to show Maximus Orion something. So, can you fill us in a little bit on now that you have the Intercounty Championship, what are you trying to show Maximus Orion through your actions?
All right, that is an awesome recap question. Hopefully, you can hear me accordingly. Can you hear me?
Sure can.
All
Indeed.
right, wonderful. Uh, I am very, very big on trying to keep up with legacy, but I also am very big on trying to keep out idiocracy. Um, I personally felt that, especially with him fighting so hard to get the inter-county championship, the fact that one, he was not trying to defend it and decided to throw me a party is a little bit ridiculous. Because what have I actually done at that particular time in Rocket Pro to have an appreciation day? For anyone that knows my history at Rocket Pro, and just Rocket Pro, that's not including any other company that I've wrestled in where I've been successful in, what have I actually done at Rocket Pro up until that point? I think that's a fair question to ask. I'll wait if you have an answer. If not, I could tell you what the answer is.
So, what is the answer, Rian?
Answer is nothing. And by nothing, I mean from a wrestling standpoint, I've done everything as far as like for fans to do to make people comfortable, for people to have fun. I've been involved in a lot of pie eating contests and musical chairs and dressing up as Cupid and doing a bunch of these things for the company to make it better to get eyes on said sport. Meanwhile, newer people are coming in after seeing said scenario and automatically getting title shots like a Turtle or a Steve Arndt or guys that necessarily weren't there in the beginning, because I've been there from the beginning. And is the only person that I saw that has a direct hand as far as in ring and out is Maximus Orion. Now, it was very clear as far as the direction of how things were going to go. If you continue down this path, things are going to be bad. It's going to get worse before it gets better. The issue that I have, and this is just a flat out 100%, I wanted Maximus to understand what's happening around him because I was there at the beginning when he didn't know what was going on. I don't want him to have his company taken away from him. And if you're doing too many things, like trying to wrestle and run the company and try to defend championships, but not really, something has to be taken away from you. And I just looked at it as pay attention. He made it about the championship. He made it seem like that's something I wanted to do because he also knows my history in that company as far as not being successful nearly as much as, say, a Turtle or a Steve Arndt. And the reason why I bring those two particular people up is because, one, Turtle has been able to put himself in a position where he's able to take the Rocket Pro Chicagoland Championship and elevate it to a level that no one expected him to do. And two, having someone like a Steve Arnott, who was just a commentator for Rocket Pro, to be able to then turn around and main event the biggest show of the season. Those are two things I can say that I've never been able to have a chance to do, let alone succeed in. And for me, being in the wrestling business as long as I have, that may be a little bit of an issue. Not saying that it's wrong, but for my own ego and pride moving forward, that is a scenario that not just myself, but other veterans like myself may see as a slap in the face. And before all of these hands start to come up aboard and start punching the establishment, I figured maybe you should see what you're doing first before you actually continue down this path. And that's all I was trying to do with Maximus Orion. Make it as easy as possible for to understand. If you can't handle me, you will not be able to handle the onslaught that's coming, because I've talked with the locker room and there's an onslaught coming and he needs to see it. He needs to understand it. He needs to understand that there's way worse people out there than myself. Is that a good enough explanation as far as past and present, or should I continue?
No,
I think
I think that clarifies a lot. One question I do have this upcoming Saturday is this match personal or is it about the title this time?
Neither, actually, because I didn't make it.
But for you,
I
so
did.
so you said Maximus said he thought it was about the title last month. I'm asking what you think this is about this month.
I think it's a matter of, as I said before, ego and pride. Because I feel like in his scenario, he has everything to lose. If I lose the championship, they're only going to look at me as old man Rion, and I should have lost. I shouldn't have had it as long as I've had it, which I'm fine with. But for him to be borderline the face of Rocket Pro, for him to be the the arm of justice, even though he doesn't want to acknowledge himself as that, he is still the one that is tied to not only Rocket Pro as a company, but the family that runs said company as well. So
Yeah.
he has a lot that he has to do, because if old man Rion is the one that's going around here and handing him L, so to speak, the locker room will see this as maybe I can do the same thing. And I want him to beat me, because that's all he's talked about.
Yeah.
I'm going to beat you, and I'm going to beat you bad. You could look at those promos I said, and he's just saying how he's going to beat me bad. I know I could take an ass whooping. That's never been the issue.
Mm-hmm.
It's a matter of when it counts. Can he say
Yeah.
that? Can he actually say that that's a thing that he's been able to do consistently?
Yeah.
He won his
Rihanna,
record there. I've been
I
very good
got you.
about keeping it in order. Please continue. My apologies.
No, you're fine. I want to ask you a question though, and this is honest to God for everyone out there. This is a question I'm curious about. It's not me in any way trying to, poke the bear in any kind of way. Legit question. From the Lovely Intoxicated podcast of it was about a few weeks ago now, I think they had a debate between Maximus and J.R. Lindsay. Is that what he's going
Jared
by now?
Lindsay. Yep.
Correct.
Yep.
And I found out in that podcast that Maximus Orion does not wrestle anywhere but Rocket Pro Wrestling, which
He
I
does
guess
not.
makes sense because that's his company. I understand that. Is that a factor in his wrestling match against you and what could possibly be coming up here on Saturday? Is that in a sense he's almost kind of like in this bubble that kind of keeps him safe because he's not dealing with other locker rooms. He's not dealing with, wrestlers that are booked for him, not that are booked by him. And I'm just kind of curious on how that kind of plays in a factor. Again, this isn't me trying to throw shade on anything. It's an honest to God question on how the mindset of he is wrestling who he knows who he's wrestling. He knows what's happening. It's not being booked by somebody else for him.
Well, let me ask you this, and this is just, I hope this doesn't like come off as bad, but have you listened to the Power Hour at all?
I do, yeah.
Okay, I've actually mentioned this when I first did the attack.
Okay. I don't have a
as
great
far as
memory, so
him-
if this was like months ago,
Oh no,
my
no,
memory
it's fine. It's fine.
Gotcha. Okay.
100%. But I just want to make sure that that's out there. Like I've already mentioned this, and as far as
Okay.
what J.R. Lindsay was doing, he ultimately was just repeating things that I already said. But the only difference is he's looking at it from the current generation's viewpoint, because he's been able to go out into the world and do everything that he's been wanting to do, because it's just been him. It's just he's been out in the wrestling industry, so to speak. For me, I'm okay with you creating your own world, your own bubble, however you want to do it. But I also look at it as I look at it as like a game like Minecraft or RPG or something that you can kind of control as long as you know the algorithm.
Yeah.
My thing is, how does it look if you're the one that creates your own game, so to speak, and the game beats you? You should already know how to work things accordingly because of the way that things are structured, because you structured it. How does it look if you have one of your NPCs show up, or your non-playable characters, for anyone that's listening that doesn't know what that means? How does it look when one of these non-playable characters that's not supposed to be victorious and things starts winning and you can't control it? How do you handle that?
That's
What
a valid
takes
question.
place?
Yeah.
Like, how do you handle the idea of this world that you created for your own dominance starts folding in on itself and starts to dominate you? Not that that's happened, but let's just say it did. How are you going to prepare that? Are you going to blow it up? Are you going to continue to fight this never-ending battle? Are you going to how do you want to handle that? And this is probably the easiest way that I can explain Maximus' situation now while he's trying to worry about me in this title. Because I already won. I am the definition of playing with house money at this point, because all I have to do is wait. I'm not making any matches. Anything that happened with, like, say, IPW, where Rocket Pro was being represented, I was there with Turtle, defending championships, working with championship showcases, but I was there. I didn't see the Shelleys. I didn't see Maximus, but I saw Damian Saint. So I have to look at it from standpoint of who's actually running the game, so to speak.
Yeah.
When you put that in perspective, for me, I just have to wait. Hopefully he sees it. That's my thing right now, is that hopefully Maximus Orion sees everything before it becomes too late. Because I don't want him to lose his company. And that is a very, very strong possibility based off of this.
Gotcha. Turtle, you've been very vocal on the actions of Rion throughout his whole issues with Maximus. You got anything to add here?
So I'm starting to like see it a little bit, like what Rion is saying, as I listen more and more. Do I agree how he started it? No, I'll never agree to that. But that's
Is
just
this
me.
before or after the champion showcase? Since everyone likes to bring that up.
I was start like I saw some things before that, before the championship showcase.
Okay.
But it's just listening now and actually Travis brought up a good question. I'm thinking about The Walking Dead.
Mm-hmm.
You've seen it, obviously,
Mm-hmm.
right? Okay.
What
So,
what to talk about? We're going to talk about the governor. We're going to talk about Egan. We're talking about Alpha.
well, the scenario I'm thinking about is the beginning of Alexandria.
Okay.
Rick joins in, whatnot, and he's trying to warn them what's out there.
Mm-hmm.
So the bubble you talk about is the exact wall of Alexandria. None of them have walked out that wall or out the door, whatever. You're essentially Rick at this point, trying to
Okay.
warn Maximus of what's coming or what could
Then
come.
then allow me to bring this in perspective. If I am Rick, am I the Rick Grimes that had to take out his best friend Shane for the betterment of the team? Am I the one that had to consistently just wake up to a never-ending nightmare? Am I the one that had to deal with the governor that was pretty much a good person, but because of my own ego and pride, I had to like take him out for the betterment of things? Because let's be honest, Rick wasn't always good.
Right.
He wasn't always right in the decisions he made, but he also was able to present himself to where you saw his point of view. Because there's a very strong case that maybe, just maybe, that Rick Grimes and his crew walking in Alexandria were the bad guys because they were fine before he showed up. So that's why I'm asking, how do you want to, how exactly do you want to handle it? Because if we're going down that path, I am 100% the bad guy, but I will never take away my actions accordingly.
I feel like the best scenario is Rick going into Alexandria. Because, yeah, they were fine. They were fine in their own bubble, but even bubbles get popped over time.
Now,
And I think
it's
you were
safe to
trying to warn Maximus that
say,
his bubble could be popped.
hold on one second. Oh no, you're fine. You're fine. I'm currently doing a podcast, a live stream. I didn't want to interrupt you guys. No. You're welcome.
Ask them. Ask them if they listen to the show.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Hello. I
Ask
am
them if they
currently.
listen to the JFW podcast, Rion.
I'm sorry.
Ask them if they listen to the show.
I am not going to ask this woman to talk to me if she wants to talk about the JFW podcast or know about it, to then to go fuck herself. I'm going to tell you just so you understand where I am at. I am currently in Indiana, and I am also the only black person on the street here in Indiana. And I don't want to put myself in a position to then tell someone to go fuck themselves because you need to make it about yourself. So I am not going to do that for you. Particular scenario, especially with Wrestling Fan One telling you to stop making it about yourself.
I mean, Wrestling Fan One's been trying to call in for like the last 20 minutes and stuff, and
Yeah,
I'm
put them
tempted.
on. Put them on. Because
Oh, I
what I'm going to do is I'm going to come back because my food is ready. So I'm going to come back a little bit later. Give me about an hour, maybe soon. Well, possibly sooner than that. But give me 30 minutes, and I will come back. Let Wrestling Fan One get on here.
yeah, Rian, enjoy your food and everything. Before I let you go,
I will
quick
gladly come
question.
back and talk with you guys, but you should
Yeah.
talk about the rest of the show at the same time.
Oh, 100%. Real quick before I let you go, though. At the last IPW show, you and Turtle went for the tag titles and lost.
Mm-hmm.
You punched Turtle. Was that on purpose?
No, everyone was the same height. The only thing was I was trying to hit Diesel tracks. He was way faster than I expected him to be, And I also made sure Turtle knew just me so we could move forward and call that. And he did.
Gotcha.
And we were
See, Turtle?
I move forward. I
Mystery,
move forward.
cents. All right, Rion, you enjoy your lunch, man. Thanks for calling in, and we'll touch base.
A little bit later.
Hi, man. Bye. All right, you guys want to talk to Wrestling Fan 1?
Sure.
Why
can't? What kind of debacle are we gonna get into?
Sure. Yeah. It's okay, because best case scenario, I could always just disconnect them. That's the power I got.
It would be like C-SPAN, but JFW span.
But that's what I love about these live streams, because we do, we talk to wrestlers, we talk to fans, we talk to people who are involved in the we talk to everyone involved in the wrestling business. So why not? Okay, so Wrestling Fan 1's connected. What's up, man, lady, person?
Yeah.
Okay.
Talk?
Yeah,
Pal.
Yeah, I don't like dead air. So if you're gonna be on, then talk. Yeah.
Test 1 2. Test 1 2.
What the hell is this? Is this a youth thing, Pacman? Because this feels
this I had nothing to do with this one.
This feels like a lot. Yeah, I'm not doing that.
Yeah. Nah. You can go. This guy can go fuck himself.
It's okay, because he ended it. So I mean, I don't know what the hell that was.
Whatever.
But it's okay.
Just
Hey,
a
you know
troll.
what? Somehow that had to do with the upcoming Rocket Pro show. So it's okay.
Speaking of Rocket Pro,
hey,
here's the voice of Rocket Pro right now.
Yeah, hold on a second. Wrestling Fan 1, why would you try to call back in when you just ended the call? Enough, okay? You're not being called back on. You tried, and all you did is moan and then hang up. So I'm not doing it. Steve, thanks for calling in, man.
Hey, how are you guys this morning? Great show. First time caller, long time listener.
Aha.
God, it sounds sarcastic, but I know you mean it.
Hello, main event, Steve.
I do mean it. Listen, the only reason I called in is because Travis reestablished the chain of who could participate on this show with his last statement, which is all I've been waiting for.
Dude, the rules have never changed here, man.
I was just waiting. It's like a vampire being invited into a house. You got to be invited in before you can come in. So I was just waiting for my turn.
Oh, God. This is the problem. You are the problem, Steve.
I am the problem. It's absolutely true. Just like Taylor Swift. Hey, it's me. I'm the problem. It's me.
Steve, how excited are you for the upcoming season premiere of Rocket Pro, man?
Well, if I was excited before, I'm super excited now because of all the hype you've been giving Fall Brawl in the last almost 2 hours of time, whether it be one live stream package or two. Boy, are we going to have some fun next Saturday in Joliet at St. Joe's Park, aren't we?
Hell yeah.
This Saturday, bro.
That's what I said. Well, this Saturday.
You said next. You said next.
Well, this September 9th, whenever you want to call it.
There we go.
I really only called in for one reason. I've been monitoring very closely Wrestling Fan 1. And, whenever somebody gets disenchanted with either the JFW product or the Power Hour product, we want the people that listen and support us to feel like they have our undivided attention. And he asked about Mickey Mouse. And since I have children that have grown up with Mickey Mouse, I wanted to talk about Mickey Mouse Funhouse. I want to talk about Toodles. I want to talk about Magic. And I want to talk about Minnie's dump truck ass.
Steve, quick question. Before you continue talking about whatever the hell that was, is Mickey Mouse going to be at Fall Brawl this Saturday?
I mean, everybody's going to be at Fall Brawl this Saturday. Why not a giant rodent that makes money?
Well, because I just want to be clear, because his biggest hissy fit was the fact that we weren't talking about the upcoming Fall Brawl. And if he's bringing up Mickey Mouse, then maybe he knows something that Pacman, Turtle, you, or I even know about Mickey Mouse being there or not being there. Because if this whole thing is supposed to be about the upcoming show, because if it's not about the upcoming Fall Brawl, then the show is apparently boring. His words.
Well, here's the thing about that. Everybody in this room is directly tied in to Fall Brawl, whether it be the fan access, whether it be the the Nova Awards, whether it be the show itself. So anything we're talking about is essentially about Fall Brawl in some nuance. Now, I don't know what a shit cricket is, so I can't speak to Rhode Island Red or whoever is in there now. But if you want shit crickets, we got shit crickets too.
I'm going to tell you right now, unless you know what a shit cricket is, don't recommend us having shit crickets.
Well, I don't even know what it is. I just assume that since they're looking for it, we have it.
Well, I can tell you right now, shit cricket is a sex move. So,
well, there you go. I don't know. I don't know if that'll happen between 2 and 4 at St. Joe's Park, but
probably not. No.
If you are offering that up, hey, more power to you. Oh, and
hey, there are.
By the way, Rocket Pro Wrestling executives and everyone out there listening, this is your commentator bringing this stuff up, not me.
I'm just commenting on the fans because that's why we do this. It's all about the fans.
Well, let me ask you about Fall Brawl because that's what's coming up.
Yes.
Now we already know, and I believe you mentioned it last week on your show that the Power Hour will be doing another live from Fan Access.
Yes.
So we know you're going to be there for that. And we know as of right now you are commentating Rocket Pro Wrestling Fall Brawl.
I don't know if I do know. I don't know if I do know that, Travis. I mean, I think I'll be doing some of the commentary, but in my absence, a bevy of new great commentators were born. Yourself, C Red. I mean, maybe we have a commentating menagerie. Not a lot of companies have that. So how much commentary will I be doing? I don't know.
Well, I wasn't invited back, so I know I'm not going to be there.
Maybe not to your face, sir, but you'll always be invited back.
Yeah, I'm sure I will. If I buy a ticket and sit in the fans, with the LIM, maybe.
Oh, yeah. We'll take you, Travis.
But I know, God, I can't remember how long it was. I think it was a couple months ago. You had Nuke on the Power Hour.
I did.
And there were a few matches that were announced, probably more than a few matches announced on that show. Pacman, or not Pacman, I'm sorry, but the LIM did their predictions for Fall Brawl. But I didn't see your name on it. I didn't see a match book for you. Did I miss that?
Well, as was it gets pointed out at least 10 times in a given situation. I'm not a wrestler, so there's no reason for me to be in a match. My only tie-in is if I am doing commentary, when and if the Fabulous Idols make their presence felt, well, that might be something that has to be dealt with. But I really don't. I'm coming to do fan access. That's all I know I'm doing. And then after that, it could be anything.
I gotcha.
Well, according
I just
to
want you to know
Kevin,
this. Trav, wait,
on
Turtle, hold up. Turtle. I just want you guys to know that Rhode Island Red likes the show because of the shit cricket.
Oh, Kevin Palmer just said he will be on commentary, and he is the voice of Rocket Pro Wrestling. So,
okay, well, I still have a job. Good for me.
Well, yeah, okay. He is. Okay. What's that thing? Voice, heart, and soul. Is that
VHS?
Yeah. Okay. So follow question then, and then Turtle, you can say what you want. Will you be at commentary? Since it's been confirmed by Kevin, you'll be at commentary. Will you be sitting there with your? Go ahead. Kevin's
the guy that makes.
My bad. I forgot that part.
Kevin makes the rules. So if Kevin says I'm on commentary, then that's where I'll be.
Will you be sitting there with your Joey Roth title?
I have got the most spectacular plans for that title this Saturday. It's going to be amazing.
That I believe. Turtle, you're going to say something before Steve interrupted you.
I should be used to that by now. Well, no, you guys said it. You said it already. I was trying to say what Kevin Palmer was saying.
Oh, okay. You're trying to butter up Steve.
I was just up stating facts as all.
Gotcha. I mean, dude, doing commentary at Rocket Pro is a lot of fun. And when I was able to do it with the professor, I think is that what he goes by?
Professor Blackburn.
There we go. Thank you. I couldn't think of the last name. The professor, and then I had a chance to do it with C Red and Christian Rose. Turtle was there at one point. Who's getting arrested right now?
Not me.
Travis, are you reading the live stream right now? Because Rhode Island Red defined shit crickets,
Yeah.
and it's not the sexual innuendo that you let it out to be.
Okay, well, yeah, if you want to make up your own definition for what it is, feel free to do so. That's fine.
Shit cricket means people who talk that we can't stand, shit comes out of their mouths and makes fans quiet as crickets. You mean like Joey Roth. So Joey
Treated.
Roth is a shit cricket.
You know, it's funny you bring up Joey Roth because Rocket Pro released a video with Johnny Nye seemingly burning his Fabulous Idols shirt. Lots of stuff have happened with the Idols. They've lost all their titles. They've lost control of Rocket Pro Wrestling. Steve, you were a huge part of the downfall of the Idols. Do you think they're going to try to mount a comeback, or do you think there's no chance in hell?
Let's talk about that moment in time where Joey Roth Johnny Nye clocked Joey with the belt, which led to us getting the victory. You know, the Idols had a bad night. They lost their title belts. But when it came to that match between Shelly and I, Roxy and Joey, it went back and forth. And in the moment in time that Johnny Nye came out, if Johnny Nye came out and did Idol business, we likely would have lost that match. So why Joey is not so got his sights set on us again is probably because if you watch that match start to finish, they essentially had us using their idol ways. When Johnny Nye turned the tables and clocked Joey, that led to Shelly getting Hell's Gate on Roxy, and that got us the win. So it really was decided in the last few moments when Nye made a choice. Now, the Idols are not to be trusted, even amongst each other. Why that was done, how that was done, who it was done to or for, that remains scenery for the fans and the people there. I still think that the Idols have something deeper and darker going on. We chased them out, I guess you could say hooray for us, but I don't like how the shoe is dropping next. And I don't know what to make of Johnny Nye. I'm glad he did what he did because we got our hands raised in victory. But what does it all mean? And is there a bigger game afoot here than even we all realize? When you think of the Idols, when you think like an idol, it's a different kind of cat, man. And, I smell trouble coming if they're let back in.
It's definitely gonna be interesting at Fall Brawl to see what happens with them. And when we see a lot of things played out over at IPW between Nye and Damien, because both of them were there, Saint and Gray, and even God, I'll say it, Pacman's dad.
Flash. I love my dad.
We've kind of like, even though Rocket Pro has took a break, the issues with the Idols have kept playing on throughout the summer. Large part thanks to IPW for having them there. But Steve, you were one of the focal points of the downfall of the Idols, which, I mean, if you listen to any commentary from Rocket Pro Wrestling over the course of the last season, like that was kind of your I don't want to say hope and dream, but your what the hell is the word I'm looking for? God, what the hell am I? Almost profit. I'm thinking of a word like profit, but somebody help me with this fucking word. You foresaw it or something like that. Like that's what I'm trying to think of.
You're like the watcher.
I'll call it an accidental prognostication. I certainly didn't mean for it to go down that way, but in the end, the main event at Kicks on 66, I was chosen to put the medal of the company on my back and on Shelly's back for the good of the company, for the good of the locker room, the good of the fans. And thanks to the help of the final level and Nuke.
Duke.
I got my N's where my D's are supposed to be.
Yeah.
We're going to call him Duke Nuke. The Duke
And
Nuke.
Orion.
And of course, Maximus Orion. We had, and of course, Johnny Nye in the end. So, it was great to be the representative to try to win back Rocket Pro. And ultimately, I guess we did. But where do we go from here? I mean, is it out of the frying pan into the fire? We go from idols to undeniable. And have you noticed, auspiciously absent this morning from the proceedings, knowing full well this was happening, is General Manager Damian Saint. He had plenty of time last Sunday to run a whole card and host a show, but doesn't have time in his schedule to oversee his own live stream podcast for his what should be 10th sold out show in a row.
Yeah, it's weird how that works, doesn't it?
What in the undeniable is he doing?
I don't know. It is what it is. I'm happy for the people who showed up here, plus Wrestling Fan 1. So hey, we still got time. We got about another hour of the live stream. So I mean, if he wants to show up, he can show up. Actually, I'm not sure what we're doing. Are we just ending at noon? What do you guys want to do?
Oh, we can get through the card and see what we do.
We still got to talk about that big main event that's coming up. And Rhode Island Red is asking some questions. He's redefining shit cricket. And it's just like the meaning of shit biscuit. People who can't stop talking just because we want to beat the piss out. They talk so much, we make them shit out biscuits. Which one? And they wants to know, which one would you consider as someone in the company that is considered a tiny turd?
Well, Damian Saint is definitely a tiny turd.
Oh, now see, don't go doing that. You're going to find yourself out of the main event package there, Turtle. Be careful. You might not have to like him, but you got to respect him or you're going to lose that strap.
Well, how can you respect a general manager who can't promote the live stream of a company he runs?
Well, you got to give him a chance to speak for maybe he had to work, maybe he had a family. I mean, there are plenty of things that could keep him occupied, but I'd like to think he's not having his Dutch babies with Rion.
Yeah, I mean, in Damien's defense, we did only promote this 2 weeks ago, so a little short notice.
That's 2 weeks of promoting.
But in order to get a opportunity of this magnitude for Rocket Pro Wrestling to put their pre-season premiere live stream on the back of the JFW engine, you would have to get the authorization of the general manager. So he had to know, even for 2 weeks. And you can't call in and say, hey, guys, thanks for what you're doing for our company. We're not paying you to promote this. We're doing it because we love it, we support it, and we want it to do well. You can't even get a thank you from the bearded undeniable one.
I love how you think I asked.
Oh, I just assumed you followed the chain of commands. I mean,
why do you think I would ask? Why do you think I would ask to do anything, bro? Come on now. It's like you said. I'm unapologetically honest. I'm gonna do shit.
You are, but even in your most vain moments, even in your most pompous situations, you are still someone who understands wrestling better than just about anybody. And you understand that in order to do something, there is a chain. And Travis, despite your posturing and all of your talk, you are one that understands the hierarchy, and you would not break the chain.
Here, Steve, I'm going to be honest with you, man. And this is it. So what I do with JFW, what I say with JFW, that's my decision. I can sit here and I talk about whatever I want. It was my choice, along with Pacman Turtle, to make this a sole Rocket Pro Wrestling live stream. I don't need the permission of Rocket Pro Wrestling to do that because this is my show. I'm not, I get to decide what happens here. Just like when we talk about the weekly shows and we talk about match cards for all these other companies and we do the results of those shows. It's all my decision. I get to do this stuff. Rocket Pro isn't helping with this. They're not. They didn't put this together. They they did nothing. This is all JFW. So yes, I could have said, "Hey, just so you guys know, this is what I'm going to do," and that's what I did. But I didn't ask him if I could do it. I just did it because I
Okay, well, you are a visionary.
Yeah.
I apologize.
How many times did I ask you to talk about the Power Hour on JFW? Never. I just do it.
You do. That's true.
Yeah. I mean, did I ask your permission to play your entire show on my show in the entirety? No, I just did it, bro.
That's true. Still one of my favorite episodes of all time.
It is a 3-parter. It's a long show. But Steve, I do appreciate you coming on and talking with us, man. I'd appreciate you sticking around and listening to the rest of you if you want to be around here.
All right. So basically, you are very nicely kicking me off.
Oh, 100%. I don't need you on for this entire thing. This isn't the Power Hour.
Got it. Have a good day, guys.
Steve, I do appreciate you calling in, though, man. I hope you know that. I hope you do know that. I do appreciate you calling in. Or just, sit in silence like Wrestling Fan 1. Whatever. Fucking A. Oh, Steve. Okay, guys, let's get back on track and talk about the match card.
So
And I'm not hanging up on Steve because I don't like him. I'm just hanging up on Steve because Steve will do what I do and take over the show, and I want to give you guys the opportunity to talk about this shit. So I do love Steve. I don't care what anyone else says. I enjoy talking to him, but I don't want this live stream to be a Steve and Travis thing. I want this to be more of a Pacman Turtle thing. So, okay, you guys can go.
All right. So we have next the Rocket to the Top briefcase qualifier, which will feature Gunner Brave, Christian Rose, and the debuting Hartenbauer. Now, Hartenbauer has been around the Chicagoland wrestling scene. I've been told by Smiley McGee, Gila Monster, who has seen him wrestle, that he is a tough competitor. If you guys have seen Hartenbauer, what should Rocket Pro Wrestling fans be ready for with him?
I have not had the privilege of seeing him. I've only heard about him through our discussions of Dreamwave. So, is that Dreamwave, Nubby?
Yeah.
He's in Dreamwave.
Yeah, so I haven't had a chance to see him in person. If anyone has, Nubby probably has the best chance of seeing him.
Yeah, I've watched the live sometimes, to catch up on shit, and I've seen him. I think he was at the show that I was at, so yeah. I believe the fans can expect him to win the whole thing. I just see that, like, he's going to win and go into the ladder match, and he could be the champion. And when that happens, he could be champion for a long time. That is how good and tough he is.
I've heard he is an incredibly dominant competitor, but the other two men that he's sharing the ring with are also very much dominant. Gunner Brave, he was the Outer Limits champion for over 500 days. Lost the title at Kicks on 66 against Connor Hopkins. And then you have Christian Rose, the former Rocket Pro Wrestling champion, who had a dominant run himself. Now, the thing that I think comes into play as I'm thinking about this match is how each between Gunner Brave and Christian Rose, how are they going to come into this with the aftermath of Kicks on 66 in mind? I mean, Gunner lost his title. Christian Rose may be on the verge of losing his counterparts in those damn Coyotes. Now, where do you guys see Gunner and Christian Rose with their Kicks on 66 results coming into play with this match?
If Kicks on 66 is on both of their minds, they are not going to win this match. Plain and simple. They're going to be so focused on other things that, again, like I mentioned earlier on other matches, one little slip up, that's it. They're not going to win, and they need to put their focus on Fall Brawl and not worry about what happened in the past.
Travis, what says you?
This is your guys' time.
See, he wants to be included, but then he doesn't want to be included.
I want to
Right,
be. I want to be
right.
included when I feel you guys aren't being descriptive enough, and I think you guys covered that pretty well. I don't think you need me for that part. But I do appreciate you. I do appreciate sending me. Here's the thing, man. I talked way more than I was expecting to on this live stream. Like I said, like this is your guys' time. Not only is it preparing you for next week when I'm not here, but it gives the Rocket Pro fans, Rocket Pro people. It's a win-win.
That is fair. I would say that's fair. Nubby,
I mean-
what about you? That's pretty fair.
Pretty fair.
Pretty fair.
You just
All right.
now you just had the mindset of throwing it to people.
I agree. Travis, what do you think of that?
Yeah, I agree with myself.
Nubby, do you agree with Travis? Agree with them? Anyway,
I agree with the agreement that has been agreed upon,
I also agree. So,
and also with you.
Missy Sweeters, hello, Missy, says she thinks that Gunner is going to win. Rose is going to be too distracted by his fight with Bucky Collins to be able to succeed in this match. I actually would have to agree with that. I mean, Gunner lost his title, and over the summer on the Lovely Intoxicated podcast, we did have him on, and it was shortly after that match was announced on the Power Hour. And he seemed like he was ready to go. He had a new game plan and a new focus. So it seems like Gunner, is on to the next thing, where Christian Rose is, maybe might have a bit of a more difficult time with that because of what happened in that match with Bucky Collins, him losing control and showing that side of himself that Rocket Pro Wrestling fans haven't seen, at least in a while.
But just don't forget about Hartenbauer.
And that's the thing. We can't count him out either because of his dominance in other places. He's someone that, again, we've all said has shown dominance. Very, very strong competitor. I will say I have seen a few of his matches in Dreamwave. He definitely is a powerhouse. And you have a smaller guy like Gunner Brave, where, that might go into play for him. Kevin Palmer says Hartenbauer all the way. New guy has nothing to lose and can take advantage of Christian Rose, and Gunner's worried about their current problems.
Exactly.
So
100%.
Yeah, makes sense. Yeah, I mean, like I said, I haven't had a chance to see Hartenbauer, so I don't know what he is. I don't know exactly what he's going to bring to the match, but I heard what could be brought. Any one of these guys have the ability to come out on top. But I do agree with what Kevin said. Hartenbauer probably has more of a clear headspace walking into this, where I don't know if Christian Rose has dealt with what happened at the last show. And, I mean, by all accounts, it looks like Gunner Brave is kind of okay with his title loss, but I'm sure a rematch is also on his mind, too. So, yeah, I mean, I think there's going to be one hell of a match coming up here, just like all of them are coming up on this Saturday, September 9th.
Hartenbauer is chiseled steel per main event Steve Aaron. But you talked about a rematch, and we're going to talk about the next match of Shaq Jordan and the new Outer Limits champion, Connor Hopkins, who just defeated Gunner Brave for the Outer Limits championship at the last show in May. Now, Shaq and Connor are two incredible athletes with a lot to prove.
Uh-huh.
Hopkins is going to try to continue I would probably go as far as to argue that in Rocket Pro, the Outer Limits Championship has become their version of the Intercontinental Championship in the WWE, because that is what I would consider to be the Workhorse Championship. Not to be confused with those workhorses. For the
jerk horses.
Not to be confused with the jerk horses, the Workhorse Championship belt.
But they are not Rocket Pro, thank God, so we don't have to talk about them.
God. I have just wiped sweat off my brow on that fact. Now, Connor is going to have to prove that he can maintain that prestige of that workhorse title. And Shaq Jordan, who has come into Rocket Pro and has made, I would say he's made an incredible impact on people. You know, Steve in the chat says that Shaq is a generational treasure, and Missy says that Shaq is phenomenal and one of her personal favorites of all time. So this is going to be a match where both of these men are going to have a lot to prove. Nubby, what do you think?
So, Shaq Jordan recently at IPW went toe-to-toe with Marche Rocket. Now, in my mind, if you survive Marche Rocket, you can get through anything. And with that said, I know Connor Hopkins is on a roll, but he cannot overlook the talent of Shaq Jordan. So, if he wants to keep this title that he just won, he needs to step up his game a little bit more. And don't overlook and take Shaq Jordan lightly.
Oh, certainly. I mean, I've seen Shaq in IPW, obviously, this summer. That match against Marche was incredible. I've seen him at the Hot Sauce Expo. You certainly shouldn't underrate Shaq's skills to the ring. And yes, Connor Hopkins did go toe-to-toe with Marche as well, so both of these men have had experience wrestling Marche Rocket, one of the toughest competitors and one of the most skilled competitors in Rocket Pro Wrestling. So both of them have had that experience with Marche. Both have probably been on the receiving end of one of those infamous Marche Rocket chops. But again, it's going to, I think, boil down to who is going to come out of it at the end of the day with the victory and who will have the most to prove. And I think both these men will come into this match having quite a lot to prove.
Equally, I think that's it. They both have to prove a lot. Shaq Jordan has a lot to prove just because he's just, in a way, he's new to Rocket Pro. He's been around in the business a while, but he's got a lot more to prove. But at the same time, Connor Hopkins, he just won that title. He's going to want to keep it. Like all champions, we want to keep the title we just won. We fight to get it, but now we got to fight to keep it. And Shaq Jordan is a tough dude. So, again, Connor Hopkins cannot take him lightly. I don't think he will, but we'll see.
All right. And lastly, we have the main event of Quinn Whittick, Sexy Violence, going up against new Rocket Pro Wrestling champion Aaron Stone for the Rocket Pro Wrestling Championship in a tables, ladders, and chairs, oh my, match. Now, Whittick was a fighting champion, a dominant champion, had a lot of victories throughout his run. Faced off against Joey Jet Avalon in a literal Nova Award nominated Match of the Year candidate.
Mm-hmm.
And then all of a sudden in May, he was not there. And Damian Saint, general manager of Rocket Pro Wrestling, stripped Quinn of the championship, even though Rocket to the Top briefcase holder Aaron Stone was getting ready to challenge him. And then in the match between the Ryan Matthews, who was put into Quinn's place, and Aaron Stone, who was getting ready to wrestle for the championship anyway, Stone came out of that match on top, even in spite of undeniable shenanigans, no pun intended. Now, Whittick, a couple weeks ago, I saw Quinn wrestle at Wrestle League, and after that match, he did address his loss of the title, the stripping of the title, and said that he was coming to get his stuff back. He was very intense with the way that he had said it, and I have no doubt in my mind that Quinn Whittick is gunning for Aaron Stone and the title that he, quite frankly, never lost.
Mm-hmm.
Aaron Stone, it's very similar to, Connor Hopkins. He just won a championship. He's going to want to fight to defend that title. And there's going to be a lot of instruments of destruction at their disposal. Tables, ladders, and I cannot stress this enough, chairs.
Or
This is going
crowbar.
to be, or a crowbar. The seat could very well stand for crowbar. You never know. So this is bound to be a very violent match. And Nubby, what do you think? What do you think of this match? Who do you think might come out on top on this?
Well, let me ask you this question first. And Travis, I'd like you to answer it as well. Even though I think I know what your answer is going to be. But would have Damian Saint, general manager guy,
9 months in a row, standing room
9
only,
yeah, all that
Beard
stuff.
of Thor.
Would he have still stripped the title of Quinn if he was undeniable?
Yes.
Are you sure?
I think he would, just for the sense that, because he's a huge Quinn Whittick fan to begin with. I don't think being undeniable, not undeniable, made a difference in his decision. He wanted a title match for the season finale. Like, that's what he wanted. This is his first full season as general manager, and he wanted everything to go off as perfect as possible. And we all know cards subject to change. We know that exists. I think he would hate the fact that he had to do it, but ultimately, even if he was undeniable, I think he still would have. Stripped the title in order for the RPW fans to have that title match.
Now, the other side of it is, Quinn Whittick was being pretty much regularly scouted by Damian Saint, even at the start of last season.
Mm-hmm.
So, but even then, Quinn would never join in the undeniable, no matter how much Quinn had tried to tell him no. Do you think that Damian Saint maybe took, that decision personally? Do you think that maybe factored into the decision to strip him of the title at Kicks on 66?
I think he just got soft. Think about it, guys. Okay, what happened at the very beginning of this whole domination of his? Steve stood around. Let Steve sit, right? That was your guys' biggest
That was our thing. That was our thing.
Now Steve sits. Not only that, somebody had to have made that tag match official and at the season finale. I think, and maybe there's a nicer way to say it than soft, but fucking Damian's soft now. He doesn't have that entitlement complex. He doesn't have the I'm going to do for me idea. He's doing for the fans now. You guys want Steve to sit? Well, now Steve gets to sit. He wants title matches to happen, so Quinn Whittick, he didn't give Quinn Whittick that title. He gave him an opportunity to win that title, and he did. And he held on to it all the way up to the point where he wasn't able to defend it. That was a season finale. If it was any other show, then hey, yeah, maybe they'll say, hey, when Quinn's healthy, we'll have it next. But no, this is a season finale. This is the impact that you have to make to show these fans, hey, be back next season. And how are you going to have a WrestleMania caliber show without having your championship match, your championship be defended? And I think Damian saw that. I think he's more about the wrestling fans than you guys kind of believe him to be now. You guys still make him out to be this villain, and come on now. He's not that bad of a guy. And I've been saying that since the beginning. But that's just me.
Now, the one point that has been made in the chat is that Quinn doesn't follow anyone's orders and that he'd butt with Saint's head too much, even if he was part of the undeniable, which, Kevin Palmer had, posited that question as well. Gila believes, Smiley McGee believes that TLC is going to for sure be a war. Steve believes that Stone is a great champion, but Quinn Whittick never lost the title, and he thinks that we're going to have an instant classic match of the year finalist for the next Nova Awards. Missy tends to agree that Sexy Violence got robbed of the title at Kicks on 66.
Mm-hmm.
So, there's a lot of variables coming into this match. We have a lot of fans saying a lot of the same things here. But we have, what's going to be a hellacious tables, ladders, and chairs match. And I would have to say that the crowbar is the second C in TLC in this match. The crowbar will for sure come into play at some point. I mean, I know Koa bent it at spring break in half. And, the crowbar was pretty upset about it. It's been pretty bent out of shape all summer, but I think that...
you, dude.
I think that
I knew... See, here's the problem. I knew it was coming, and I still didn't see it.
So, I digress. I think that the use of the crowbar, point being, how does that factor into the finish of this match? Because that is a very devastating weapon.
Go ahead, Turtle.
I believe the crowbar can be the big factor because it's the smallest weapon of all the weapons that are going to be there, and he can just have it Stone can go up that ladder, and then when Quinn walks up that ladder to go stop him, Stone won't see the ladder or the crowbar. And all he has, Quinn can just pull it out of his pants and whack Stone in the head, and it's over.
The fuck?
What?
All good, Travis?
Is that the verbiage you want to use? Pull it out of your pants and whack you over the head with it?
That's my verbiage. I'm sticking to
I
it.
wasn't going to say anything about it.
Jesus Christ, man.
That's because you guys got the weird mind. And besides,
sure.
It's Quinn Whittick. It's Quinn Whittick. Sexy Violence for a reason.
It's one of these things, Joe. You have to realize that it's not just the crowbar; it's also undeniable. I mean, who does Stone have to back him up if undeniable comes out?
I mean, he's tagged with Maximus Orion before, but at the same time, he doesn't have, really, not that I don't think Aaron Stone has friends, but, who would be behind him if undeniable shenanigans do take place in this match?
I mean, yeah, it's an outnumbered thing, but I mean, who knows? I mean, I've seen strange bedfellows, if you will. You want to use that implication. Before, people coming out to help other people because they have the same goals. So I think it's going to be a great match. I mean, this was a match that was booked even before the end of the season finale because they knew no matter what was going to happen, Quinn will have a title opportunity. So, I mean, at least you can look at it like that. We didn't know who the champion was going to be, but we knew Quinn was going to have a title opportunity come the season premiere. And I think that's the respectful thing to do.
But here's, you know what? Kevin Palmer brings back another aspect to this. Aaron Stone constantly was trying to get stopped by the undeniable last year. Quinn Whittick was stripped of the title by Damian Saint. So what if they go up against the undeniable in the end?
Quinn and Stone?
Could very well be possible. They both have an axe to grind with Saint, realistically, when you think about it.
Dude, everything's possible. Steve could become an idol. Anything's fucking possible.
I don't think Steve will become an idol.
It's fancy booking at that point. But no, I don't see Stone and Quinn really getting on the same page about anything. So
yeah, Missy Sweeters doesn't think Steve's an idol. I mean,
he could be. Steve is just as good as a heel as all of them.
But let's think about it this way. Steve, he won the match at Kicks on 66.
Yeah.
He has the titles. He's had a rough summer, sure, but Steve has shown his dominance in other places. And the idols just don't have it anymore. They don't have control of Rocket Pro. They don't have the titles. They don't have really anything to hang their hat on. They're losers at this point.
And they're definitely losers.
They are definitely losers. And I mean, I know Joey Roth's been running his mouth pretty much the past couple weeks about having something to say and making an impact, but like at the same time, man, it's gonna go over like a silent wet fart in church. It's not gonna go over as that well at all. What does he have anymore? The idols are falling apart at the seams, it seems. What do they have anymore? I mean, Damian Gray has that bat of his. That's pretty much it.
That is pretty much it. I mean, they still got each other for the most part, except for Nye.
I mean, I don't know. There's a lot of questions, floating. There's a lot of questions about where the idols are and what kind of an impact the idols are going to make. And I think it's just going to be weak.
Well, we'll definitely find out September 9th. Was that all the matches that are booked?
That is every single one.
Okay, so we'll definitely find out September 9th. What happens with the idols. Obviously we know now Steve's going to be in commentary. I'm guessing Shelly will be right next to him. I'm sure they'll have the titles because why not instigate that shit to the fullest effects. Obviously, you guys know Steve. Steve has the Power Hour, and you know that they record on Tuesday nights. And guys, who's their guest this week?
It'll be Kevin Palmer, Michelle Shelley, and I hear Bill Shelley might go to this.
He said he might.
He might.
Yeah. So make sure you check out Tuesday night's Power Hour. So I'm sure they're gonna do some more recap and deep dive into Rocket Pro Wrestling. So make sure you check that out. What was I gonna say? Missy, yes. Nova Awards start 2:00 September 9th.
2:00 at Fan Access, which will be out in the park, $5. For Rocket Pro Wrestling, the show itself, that show will start doors will open at 4, bell time is at 5. $15 for general admission, $20 front row, and you're not going to want to miss it because there's going to be a great show with lots of twists, turns, and surprises. And the ceremony, I just been informed, as we all have been technically, that the Nova Award ceremony will start around 2:30.
Perfect.
Awesome.
Also, Power Hour live at the Fan Access, and I guess a final LIM induction happening.
There will be the final LIM induction ceremony of Double J. It's going to be a lot of fun. I'm kind of wondering, though, with the weird stuff going on with the LIM this summer, where is Simp going to come into play with all of that? That's going to be something, I guess we'll have to find out. I'm kind of nervously anticipating that.
Awesome. For those of you who tuned in and listened, I do appreciate it. For those who contributed into the chat, thank you so much. Liking the live streams really do help us out, and I hope you guys had a lot of fun. For those executives from Rocket Pro who are in here, I do request a front row seat right next to commentary. Make that happen. I believe I earned it. So, guys, from your end, is there anything else Fall Brawl related that we need to discuss?
No, I think we covered everything. Yeah. We're good. How about you, Pacman?
I am as good as the 97 Bulls.
They were pretty good.
That was a pretty solid team.
Guys, again, Fall Brawl this Saturday, September 9th. Go to Rocket Pro Wrestling fan page or Rocket Pro Wrestling. Find all the information. Go to our Facebook page or Instagram, Twitter. Follow us on social media, and obviously this live stream will be released, so you can let your friends know to catch the whole thing at a later date if they weren't able to make it today. And that's available obviously here on Podbean, but also iTunes, Google Podcast, Spotify, and all that other shit. So again, thank you for tuning in. That's all I got.
So, as always, I am Nubby, the Amazing Turtle.
Wait, whoa.
What are you doing?
But wait a minute. Me and Pacman took the reins, so I should start it. And then goes to Pacman, then you, Travis.
Yeah. Here's the thing, though.
We missed a part.
Here's the thing.
Oh, yeah.
If I give you the shit that we normally do on a consistent basis, you fuck it up. Good example, the sponsorship.
Hey, we've been doing good with Carter Comics.
We. All I need you to say, Nubby, is we can ring the bell, and then Pacman can say on this live stream, we'll just end it like we normally do. Hurry before the wrestling fan one tries to call in again.
Well.
It says Kevin Palmer says I was called in, no answer.
I did not see a call in from you, bud. Unless you tried to.
Do we want to try to bring Kevin Palmer in before we wrap this up?
I have no problem with that. If he tried to call in on the first one and the screw ups was preventing that, then that makes sense. Kevin, if you want to call in right now, feel free to do so, man. We got 30 more minutes of this live stream that we could do. So if you want to call in, feel free. There, see, he's right there. See, I see that one. What kind of person waits until the end to say, "Oh, I tried calling in"?
So aren't you glad I fucked that up?
No. Still no. Would have been no to begin with.
Hello.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's Nuke himself.
They know who it is.
What's up, guys?
Hey, man. How you doing?
Good. How are you?
Good. Quick question. Front row seat next to commentary. Yes.
Front row seat next to commentary? I think I can make that happen.
I hope so, because I wouldn't have to disconnect you from this live stream if you said no.
But
guys,
I tried calling on the first one, I believe, so that's why I was hung up probably.
Yeah, and I do apologize for so long. I'd hope so. It's Podbean's fault, not mine. But luckily we were able to get it all corrected. We were able to get everyone back here for it, man. But Pacman, Nubby,
I do kind of feel like that customer that comes in at like 9:59 and you guys are trying to close at 10, so I feel bad.
Oh, Jesus Christ, dude. I've worked fast food. I've worked grocery stores. I know those people. And, yeah, I hate them a lot. But no, I'm glad. No, like I said, man, we had plenty of time left. We just didn't see anyone else looking to call in except for Wrestling Fan 1, which I tried, but they just gurgled and hung up. So, yeah.
Pacman, I got a few of those calls from my brother.
Pacman Turtle, you guys got Nuke on your live stream. So, what do you got for him?
Yeah, shoot away, guys.
All right. So
you don't want me to shoot.
You want a work answer? You want a shoot answer? We'll do like Rion.
Turtle, man. Turtle, I got your back. I think you're gonna win the match, man. I got your back.
You got my show?
Your show?
What you got, Pacman?
So, Kevin, what can fans expect from this season at Rocket Pro? Last year, obviously was a very, very successful season for the company. 9 months in a row, standing room only, lots of talent, amazing matches, amazing atmosphere to be in. What can fans expect from Rocket Pro Wrestling this year?
We have so many more surprises. October is probably going to be probably going to shake the foundation of Rocket Pro. That's as far as I can go with that one. Got a huge surprise. But other than that, I think we're going to have another, hopefully, 9 shows of standing room only. It's going to be a good show, this one. I can't wait. I've been waiting for a long time for this one. I've had a lot going on, so I need wrestling back.
Oh, definitely. And I'm even for those who may be listening to this live stream and may never have gone to a Rocket Pro show. What's your sales pitch to them? Why should they attend a Rocket Pro wrestling show? Why should they attend Fall Brawl and Fan Access?
Well, just because we're interesting. We do entertainment and wrestling at the same time. I believe in. Oh, it's just the fans. That's basically what I like about doing. Just the fans. Make sure everybody feels like they're at home. So yeah, it's a good show.
And I can definitely attest, like Rocket Pro, I would say is for sure my home wrestling company, the one I always look forward to every month, the one that I, always enjoy being a part of. So no, definitely if you haven't been to a Rocket Pro show, expect the Rowdies fan group, expect high quality matches, expect the unexpected.
Hey, Pacman, I have a surprise for you.
Oh yeah?
I think Grandpa's going to be sitting in the crowd with you.
Oh, sweet. I love my Grandpa C-Red.
Yeah, so
let's go.
He's going to be sitting there cheering you guys on.
All right. Yeah. I am very, very excited to hear that.
You asked and we delivered.
I appreciate that, Nuke. Missy wants to ask about rowdy fan groups like Rocket Boys and even White Girl Wasted, which my dad thinks is named Hot White Girls Gone Wild. So what can you say about the fan culture at Rocket Pro Wrestling?
Fan culture is fantastic. I don't know about this White Girl Wasted. Who's that?
They're growing. Rion has speculated before they're, growing in numbers and growing quietly.
That's cool. How about you, Turtle?
What about me?
You prepared for your match?
Oh, I'm definitely prepared.
Yours is one I want to see the most, probably.
Yeah, I've been watching a lot of Bucky Collins lately. Starting to see some things I can use against him. I've been in the ring a few times with Ryan Matthews, not really like one-on-one, but many battle royals, so we know how each other work. But I think this match is going to be entertaining, but it might be hard-hitting as well. And I plan on winning. I'm walking out holding that belt.
You know what I've noticed is a lot of people don't think you can win that match, but you know what? I'm not one of them. I feel like you're the underrated guy going into this one.
I consider myself the ultimate underdog in every match I'm in, and I'm fine with that because the underdogs tell the better stories.
Oh yeah. But yeah, like you said, you do have that one up where Bucky's probably worried about Christian Rose and the Coyotes and Houghton. So you got that going for you.
I mean, I'm worried about the undeniable, but I've overcome so much that I gotta be prepared. That's all.
Cool.
Now, Kevin, you've talked about Turtles matches. Are there any other matches that you're looking forward to seeing this season or this fall at Fall Brawl?
All of them.
Easy answer.
I mean, it's a cop. That might be a cop-out answer, but all of them. I mean, everybody that's comes through Rocket Pro or any indie promotion around, all the talent has just been amazing. I love having them with us, and it's just great watching these guys go out there and do what they love to do. It's awesome, and I'm like a kid just sitting out there watching it.
Now, you played a pretty big role in the main event of this last show at Kicks on 66, where you helped the VHS even the odds against the Idols. Where do you think the Idols are going now that they're out of power in Rocket Pro?
Down the toilet, probably.
I like that answer. I like that answer a lot.
I don't know. I'm interested to see what's going to happen. I saw the video that Johnny and I posted, and that's all he's done and said since he's. I don't know. Did he turn his back? We don't know. But for what he did in Kicks on 66, I'm interested to see what was on his mind doing that.
Yeah, it's gonna be definitely interesting to see where the idols go. And again, I definitely don't have high hopes for them. They've lost everything. Where else can they go? They've plateaued, they've peaked, and I just don't see them, quite frankly, trying to. I mean, Joey Roth can talk all he wants about getting everything back that they had, and that's not going to happen.
Just remember though, your dad's still an idol.
It's a regrettable decision on his part. It's definitely like, I think my dad can associate with better people. I question that with him sometimes. You know, I wish he would have given me more fatherly advice, on that front. But,
I did like the jab you took at him on your picks.
Yeah, I had to. We had to make that clear to him that even though he's an idol, we can't at the same time very well excuse it either with all the hell that they've raised at Rocket Pro. So I just hope I hope Dad really takes a look at all of this and the downfall of the idols, and makes the right choices.
We'll see.
We'll have to see.
We'll see.
Travis, you got any questions for Nuke?
Well, my biggest question was about his involvement in the main event. I think you guys covered it pretty well, but Nuke, other than that, because obviously I'm still fairly new to Rocket Pro, I haven't been going as long as Turtle and Pacman have. But your involvement in that main event was the first time I've ever seen you actually physically be involved in a confrontation in Rocket Pro. But I do know you have a history in the ring. So that kind of light a fire and you're wanting to get back in there?
I don't know, a little bit. I'm not too keen about getting back in. I want to just do behind the scenes stuff and watch these guys go. I don't want to step in there and take some other guy's opportunity away.
But what was your mindset about getting involved in the main event then?
Because I came out to help Steve and Michelle, and
gotcha.
The idols took it upon himself to beat me up. So I'm not just going to sit there and lay back. So I wanted to go help those two and get my revenge.
Okay. I mean, you threw some haymakers, bro. So I mean, it's definitely impressive. One thing that I don't think was mentioned on his live stream yet, and I wouldn't mind getting your opinion on it because for some reason, in my mind, I think you guys, know each other. J-Beck turning his
bounce
back.
Check.
Sure. J-Beck, turning his back on everyone at Rocket Pro and siding himself with Damian Saint. Have you had a conversation with him about that?
J-Beck has been my best friend for 30 years, and I'm very disappointed in him for doing that. He's wrong. He shouldn't have done that, man. I mean, his mindset is that he thought the fans and everybody's given up on him, so he wanted to go to somebody who loved him. So I told him.
Yeah, but why do you think he would believe that?
Oh, we'll find out September 9th. I know he's been wanting to say why he did it, so he's going to get that opportunity.
Gotcha. Well, we talked about fan access. We talked about the Nova Awards. We covered the match cards. Is there anything you believe we have yet to mention that needs to be said about September 9th?
No, just be there. There's going to be some surprises. So you guys, the show's been you guys done a great job on the show and covered everything. I'm excited to see everyone and excited to get it going.
I appreciate it. I have no problem taking the credit for all that. So thank you.
You guys do a good job. Appreciate you covering us.
Absolutely. Like I said, in a perfect world, we definitely would have had more wrestlers on and everything, but we get that, obviously Labor Day and stuff like that, a lot of people aren't available, but that's why we also like to release the live stream as a recorded recording that you go back and listen to later, so kind of people can follow up on what we said and everything. But I'm glad that you did tell us that you were trying to call in, because we would love to get you on here.
Yeah.
So.
Oh, and by the way, Pax, Joey Roth just texted me. He says he's got something to say to you September 9th. So I don't know if that's good or bad, but I don't know. I'd look out.
I'm just assuming it's a, hey, how's it going? I'm totally rethinking all my life decisions and my quality of self as an individual, and probably like I've changed his life, I think.
Well,
Let's see.
Nuke, let me ask you final question, then we'll wrap this up. Better nickname, PX or Pacman?
Ooh.
I go with Pacman.
That's right. Everyone does now.
I mean, Travis started calling me Pacman, then Gabagool picked up on it, then the LIM just switches between the two.
It just rolls off the tongue better. It sounds better.
I mean, Podcast Papa is kind of...
No.
When I think of PX, it sounds like I think of X-Pac. I don't know why.
I can see that. Yeah.
When I think of PX, I think of pain in my ass, and I want to try to get away from that.
Well, Pacman is still a pain in your ass, technically.
No, Pacman, I could tolerate. PX is a dope.
Well, what about the Podcast Papa?
Yeah, Nuke, I appreciate you you coming on here and talking with us and everything, clarifying some of the questions we had, and like I said, I'm glad. What's up?
Yeah, I'll have more to say tomorrow on the Power Hour too. So,
well, yeah, I mean, it makes perfect sense. You interrupted me, like the host of that show is, so awesome. You're gonna fit right in over there, brother. No, I'm just fucking with you. I'm fine.
JFW Power Hour, you guys are all doing a great job.
Right. Well, and that's the thing. That's what I love about doing this stuff like this, because it shines the light on independent wrestling. And I'm not going to toot my own horn. I mean, Steve, you probably got to give more credit than me. I've seen a lot of indie shows starting to pop up more and more. And I'm not saying that that was me. Granted, I've been doing this for 8 years. Steve been doing it 10 years like that. So maybe it's more Steve than me. But I think independent wrestling, especially in the Midwest, is incredible and needs to be acknowledged. So when shows like this could happen, especially these live streams, I doing things like this, I'm okay giving up a couple hours on a weekend and stuff to do things like this. So
yeah, I also think a lot of the independent companies should work together sometimes too, and put on more super shows or storylines together. I think that'd be cool.
It's funny. I had a conversation on, I think, Turtle, was that this freaking show?
We did talk about it, yeah.
Like a super show idea. I had this incredible idea to put on a super show at the Will County Atrium, because I know the person who could get us in there at very little cost, and it's an atrium for the Will County Fair. And I had this idea to get a bunch of companies together to work together to put on a show there. And it's an incredible idea. It's just all about getting the owners of those companies together and figuring it out. But it's a dream I have. So
if you ever want to sit down and talk about it, I'm in with you.
Oh, 100%. I'm gonna I think it'd be an incredible opportunity. Like I said, the atrium's amazing. There's a kitchen in there, so concessions can be sold right out of it. There's a bar right there, so you can serve drinks from it. All the chairs are there, and all the parking. It could be incredible if it gets promoted right, and the matches that we book are incredible. But
yeah. All right. I appreciate it again for letting me on, and I'll hopefully I see all you guys there on Saturday, September 9th.
Make sure my front row seat next to commentary is there, and I can guarantee I'll be there.
All right, my friend. Take it easy.
All right, Nuke. Thanks for jumping on, man. I appreciate it.
Thanks, Nuke.
Thank you,
guys.
All right, that's all I got.
I believe we can ring the bell
on this live stream.
Perfect. As always, I am Travesty.
I am Nubby, the amazing turtle, Cowabunga.
And I am Pacman. Shut up, Santino.
Oh, yeah, Santino didn't show up.
I blame No Coast.
Yeah. Guys, thanks again for listening to this live stream of this upcoming Rocket Pro Wrestling Fall Brawl show. And thank you for listening to Just Freak Wrestling, the JFW Podcast.